Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. We are back finally for Survivor 1 through 50. We're here for Survivor Heroes, Healers, and Hustlers. With me, we got Coach Drew, Jonathan, and Mike back once again. So excited to have you back to talk about Ben Driebergen, Chrissy's Survivor 50 legacy that we'll get to, and more. So let's start with why you guys wanted to discuss this season. Drew, did you want to go first?
Yeah. When I first got back into Survivor, this was the season that had just finished, I believe, and everyone is in an uproar because it was finally confirmed that the show is rigged. And so I went and watched the season, and all I saw was someone who I'm not a fan of Ben. All I saw was some guy getting up, finding idols in very obvious spots, which is something that a lot of people do, which is never the same person that does it every single time. And it's like, yeah, in that final three, Chrissy, like, I think even admits like her social game wasn't the best. Like, it's not like he's sitting next to people that were playing overly social games. Ryan was never going to win. So this season somehow got me back into Survivor and also taught me how silly the community had become since I had last watched the season. I think Blood versus Water was anyway. I'm excited to talk about it.
For sure. Jonathan?
I'm gonna do like a different spin on this. I'm kind of here to defend Ben because he is probably, I know everyone's got like their own piece about like, certain winners that they like and they don't like, and good games and bad games and overall. But I think out of everyone that's ever played Survivor, not just from like a winner, but from like, I guess, like character personality type, he's probably the closest person to me, like in the sense that that reminded me a lot of myself, in the sense of like, a lot of stuff with me hit home with him. Like, I'm a Marine, he's a Marine. Like, it wasn't just that. Like, I didn't care about that going into the season. It was other stuff that had happened that really got me like drawn into him as a character that I related to a lot. So, and I know a lot of people have their own opinions about how they feel about this season and him as a winner and as a player and whatever, but I think I'm here to kind of be on this Ben defending hill in a way.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you have to say about Ben, because I will say, as we get into it and rewatching it, I think half of Ben's game is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just when you get to that end game, Ben's game falls apart. So we'll get into that. Mike, what about you? Why did you want to discuss Triple H?
Yeah, I'm a Chrissy fan. I love Chrissy. I loved watching her play the first time around. I'm always in love with an underdog. And I think what was interesting about this season is there was a lot of advantage stuff going on. And I think this was one of the first times where we really see like newer players having to engage with like playing for and against advantages. And the fact that Ryan and Chrissy were kind of like the first like moment of this like kind of advantage cross tribal stuff, like I was hooked from day one, and I was hooked as a Chrissy Ryan fan. So for me, it's really about defending Chrissy. And yeah, her social game wasn't like the best, but I think as an underdog player and someone who kind of came in, and you see her in that moment, I'm sure we'll talk about it, but like she really looks like you're done, like you're in episode 1 boo, and she ends up going to the end. I think it's just such a fun arc to talk about. So I'm all about Chrissy. I couldn't wait to talk about the season.
Yeah, and we'll get to talk a lot about Chrissy coming back for 50, obviously. So I think she's going to be fun to talk about. I was paying attention to Chrissy more and more during the season, knowing that she's coming back now. And as like we've got two people defending the other two finalists, I'm here to sort of defend Ryan Ulrich, although I'll say I agree with Drew in that I don't think he had a chance at winning. But I always want to defend my fellow nerds, and Ryan is that archetype. We've seen it before, but I feel like Ryan was in a tribe where you have small tribes of 6. You are this extremely small, skinny, nerdy guy. He very well could have been an early boot off this tribe that I guess the Hustlers were supposed to be the train wreck tribe of the season, because they weren't gelling, and maybe you could have seen them as, I guess, maybe weaker. Although maybe you would have seen the Healers as the weaker tribe physically. But nonetheless, I think he could have been an easy early boot, and he was able to socially connect enough that nobody was really targeting him at all in the pre-merge. They all wanted to pull him in. And so I think that's credit to Ryan's game. Again, do I think he deserved to win? No. At the end of the day, I think he was losing to all three of the other Final Four, but I don't think he's a terrible Survivor player.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So, but yeah, let's get into the season. So we have the theme, probably maybe one of the worst themes because the name is just hard to say. It's a mouthful. We got heroes, healers, and hustlers. What are your guys' thoughts on the theme? And I guess which one do you identify with, if any?
Anyone else want to go first?
I mean,
I'll
I hate it.
jump
Right?
in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I thought that the theme was interesting. I don't think it was like the best theme. I don't think it really established itself as a theme right off the bat. Like, why are they like what's the purpose of separating them into those groups? I kind of like lost the narrative really early on in the season. But I will say, identity wise, going into the season, my first watch when it was first airing, I love the idea of kind of this hustler group, the group of people that kind of are, a little bit of everything and kind of trying to, make it in the world, but don't really fit into some real stereotype. And so I think it was similar to like the blue collar, white collar, no collar kind of theme. Yeah. And I don't think it separated itself enough from that, except for that healers part. But I do feel like the hustlers had like the advantage, just simply because they're hard work, supposedly hard workers, people that are gonna like dig deep and like really like dive into something or be problem solvers. I don't think they led up to the hype as much as I was hoping, but I would probably be on the hustler tribe.
Yeah. Drew?
One of the biggest complaints that people have about post-COVID Survivor is the fact that, we used to have these amazing themes back in the day. Well, as we hit the 30s, and I think even as we hit the 30s, we are starting to scrape bottom of the barrel as far as how we are dividing these people, and we separated by people by race in season 13. So here we are now. It's like, all right, we've got these people. How do we want to divide them? This sounds like a cool idea, and let's just kind of go with it. I think that by far, with maybe Worlds Apart being the only other option, this is the worst themed season as far as how the tribes are divided, and that takes into account Cook Islands exists. If I were to pick a tribe that I would want to be on,
it's like if I had to pick
healers, I guess. I cure people through laughter. No, I don't know, and I wouldn't care. Like, I would be able to come up with some amazing BS story about why I'm on the hustlers tribe or the heroes tribe or whatever. Like, it's not that hard to say, oh yeah, I'm a hero because
I'm wearing blue.
I work with young students, or I'm a healer because of this, or I'm like, let's chill out with the bring back themes, because until they get one that's actually like makes sense, I'm fine with just doing numbers, I guess, if that's the alternative.
Yeah, I'll share my thoughts after Jonathan. But Jonathan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's an interesting theme. It's kind of like a 2.5 theme in the sense of like, we got two new categories that haven't been brought up before, and then we have heroes again, which is being used in the same sentence as the greatest season of all time. So it's like, okay, we've seen the heroes theme before, but it's like with new people, okay, we'll go with that. And then we have these two other unique themes that, okay, we'll see how this plays out. But 35 is just like it's a weird season, because whenever we're in the 30s, we look at like the early 30s and it's like, there's big standouts, good and bad. We look at the late 30s, good and bad, but then you go smack dab in the middle and it's 35, and it's definitely just one of the weirdest seasons out there. But I think from a theme perspective, I would like fit in. I'm not going to call myself a hero, so I'd probably fall into like maybe a hustler, or not. I'll say healer. Ooh. I listen to people sometimes. It's like I can give some type of advice sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, so I do agree, like, if you're gonna come up with half-assed themes like heroes, healers, and hustlers, where I don't think anybody knows really the true meaning, then probably don't do that as a theme. I do see that for sure. So maybe in that sense, they just couldn't think of another good theme from now on, and so I get that. But I don't know. I guess I'd be a hustler. I guess I hustle to
Yeah.
make my business. I definitely don't identify with the other two.
Like,
But yeah, I don't know. Like, this season is definitely weird for me. I feel like in the past I've kind of liked it just a tiny bit more than other people, or at least up to like when everything just starts happening with Ben, and like you're just wondering like like is it like, are they setting it up for Ben here? Which, like, it definitely went through my mind a little bit. I don't think they necessarily rigged it at all either. I do think when they are casting for some seasons, like I brought up Boston Rob, I do think Redemption Island was set up with the cast for Boston Rob to do well, unless he screwed it up, and he didn't screw it up at that time. And here I don't think they cast specifically for Ben to win either. It just ended up happening that way, where Ben did make it to the end and win.
yeah.
Regardless if like we'll get to forced fire making, I'm sure, by the end, and whether we like it or not. But yeah, we'll definitely get to that. But let's get to the rest of the season, or the start of the season. So they get kicked off the boat like usual, and we get Ryan finding the advantage, which turns out to be them trying to do the super idol again, but it is only good for one round. I forgot that they were trying the super idol again, because like I thought Koran was like the last time they tried to do it, but no, it is here. So,
And once again,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Well, I think the positive of this advantage is the relationship
Yes.
between Ryan and Chrissy, right? You get this social bond that is created because of the way the advantage is played out. So the advantage itself was a dud, sure, but like I think the setup of the advantage was actually the fun part of it. So I think it succeeded in what it was meant to do, but I don't think that the specific advantage did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure, because it definitely gets Ryan. I think it also like ingratiates himself with Chrissy later, and then I think it also ingratiates him with Devin, and because him and Devin bond over like, Ryan just gave me this information, and now like we can trust each other. And like I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more about Devin Pinto. I think Devin is great. I think he seems like the generic surfer bro we've seen in other seasons. I mean, we did have Fabio win in a season, so I guess I can't say like surfer bros don't tend to do like amazing at the game, but Fabio did win. So
you can't keep
like,
the surfer bro around for long, man. They're just gonna ride the wave to the end.
True. And Devin was a really good player. He kind of broke the mold, in my opinion, even though he didn't end up winning, because he did play a great strategic and social game. Like I don't really think Devin had a major flaw in his game this season. So
no, and you brought up how that kind of builds that relationship. What I want to quickly say is I loved how they didn't refer to it by its retconned name that they gave it in Kagayan, the Tyler Perry idol.
Oh yeah,
they just went back to, all right, we're just gonna forget that we ever did this whole thing, and we're gonna retcon our retcon and say, oh no, it's Super Idol.
It's like, guys, I found the Tyler Perry idol.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Tyler Perry just disappeared from the show completely.
Yeah.
It's a guest star one season, and then
I don't know. Season 50 is supposed to be celebrity, apparently.
Exactly.
So he might show up. We just don't know.
Yeah, watch Tyler Perry's show back up. It's probably going to happen.
Or just the Billie Eilish whatever idol is just another name for the Tyler Perry idol. They just brand it every year. It's a different name every year.
That's true. We don't actually know what the Billie Eilish Boomerang idol does yet. So, yeah, so we get the dynamics over there, then we get the heroes, and it seems like the moms are in trouble. So Chrissy and Katrina are on the bottom. And it, like, as you said, Mike, like bringing up, like Chrissy had a really rough start to the season where she's immediately on the bottom at first, and then she's like throwing up after the first challenge. Like, it is crazy, like how kind of the dynamics of them being the heroes and like the stronger people aligning, which does get disrupted, as I'm sure we can talk about here, with Alan Ball going super crazy. I think Alan Ball is a fantastic character that goes way too soon.
Great pre-merge character.
Yeah.
I will jump in about the cast.
Yeah.
I think the cast actually is pretty phenomenal. I think that we have a lot of great pre-merge people that played the game. Like they tried to play the game. Like you've got Patrick, you've got, he's kind of the goofball, but he was playing the game.
Yes,
so it was a lot of fun to watch a rewatch because I realized how much it reminded me of how much I loved the game. And I know this is kind of like a weird take, but like this is a great cast. I mean, we get Desi, who then moves on to the challenge. So like, I mean, we get a lot of great players. I mean, Ali, I think, had a lot of potential.
Yes.
So like this cast, I think, is actually much stronger than I think it gets credit for, because being so late in the mythos, not a lot of returners. And like Ben is technically our only returner from the season, and now we've got Chrissy coming. So that's it. Like that's all we've got. But like I think it's a phenomenal cast.
Yeah, and it usually just gets overshadowed, I guess, like from the typical stuff that happens at the end of the season, because I guess the overall, we talked about the theme and how like it being season 35, and there's so much stuff that happened like before the season, there's so much stuff that happens like after the season that it kind of does get shadowed by
lost.
It gets lost, like, and not really in like a bad way. It just becomes like a true neutral, dead in the middle kind of season for a lot of people, or besides the stuff that you want to like or not like about the season.
Agreed.
And the whole thing, the whole the whole whatever that, they just cast a Joe because he's basically just Tony 2.0. I'm like, I never really saw that. Like that was never, Tony never went through my mind watching Joe, because I actually I enjoy watching Tony too, but I enjoyed watching Joe not because he was giving off Tony vibes. It's because Joe's is giving off this larger than life chaotic vibe that just happened to be bald. Like
bald,
one of my favorite tribals ever is the Allen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sitting there like, oh man, this is like when Tony did this. It's like, no, this is like what Joe just pulled this off because he read the room.
Did Joe also clap during that too? He clapped during that one also.
We'll definitely get to that in a little bit. And we also obviously have Alan that is going to cause JP to strip, which is probably JP's only good moment in the season. JP is like the biggest dud on this cast.
Listen, as the gay man of the group, like it was an enjoyable moment. It was enjoyable. I was like, oh, JP's taking his pants off. Cool. Awesome.
But later he said, like, I got to tone it down, guys, because if I say anything, they're going to vote me out, which I will. He's like, as a dud, I think he was, I think he played a dud to a point.
That's fair. I mean, I do think the reason they don't show JP at all is because he was absolutely given nothing in the season.
Oh, yeah, at the time. Yeah.
So,
my favorite is him, like, walking in the background of a lot of, like, the conversations. He's just, like, in the background, and you're like, are you gonna like engage at all? Like do anything?
He's like, no, they're gonna vote me out if I talk.
Yeah.
He's like carrying wood. I'm like, oh well, at least he's building the shelter.
Well, like you have Chrissy and Ben like talking early, and they're like, well, JP's not doing much. It's like, geez. And then you have Chrissy being like, well, I can use JP because he's a big guy and he's loyal, so at least I can use him and manipulate him. So and it did work. I mean, it gave her a shield, and he was loyal to her for a long time.
I'm also very curious about the Ashley JP breakup during this game that we never saw, because like all of a sudden, like mid game, they were not even talking to each other. So like, who knows what happened with that?
I don't know. Maybe it was just like Ashley then went with Devin, and then she's just like, well, JP's not really doing much. So
Devin was cuter and smarter. So
yeah. I mean, very true.
They just always have the same stagnant face every single time, and it's like, all right, yeah, you're really just not all there, are you? It's fine, we need people like you, but still.
Also, the whole meme that went around with JP where he would always say and things like that. I mean, I was trying to keep track of how many times he said it, but
take a drink every time JP says things like that.
yeah, so the and then the healers, we should talk about them a little bit. So you mentioned Joe Mena. I think Joe is an interesting character in the season because he is loud, he is chaotic, and then him and Dr. Mike, that they make the coconuts later. I think it's a fun dynamic. Like Joe's immediately like, I don't trust Dr. Mike, and he's like immediately calling Dr. Mike out. I think it is a funny little dynamic that the two of them end up having. They end up becoming really good friends later on. So
It's a fun bromance.
yeah. It is fun. I do like Dr. Mike. I think he's a funny little character. And then you have Cole and Jessica that have the showmance, which like Cole, I hated that I had Cole as my winner pick once he just started blabbing every single thing throughout the season. Because again, another big dumb guy that like, why is he blabbing everything that Jessica has to like Ben and Lauren later? And like blabbing about Joe's idol. Like, I don't know. Cole is just not good at the game either. And he very much causes the downfall of the healers.
Surprised he didn't dox her virginity in the process because
Yeah.
he was doing everything else.
I will say, I feel like Jessica had so much more potential. I think her interest in Cole, I think, like blocked a lot of like what she could have done in this game, which is very frustrating because he just kept like throwing her shit out there. So I think she ruined her own game by just getting involved with Cole. But you know, he was cute. It is what it is.
Well, and Mike, you brought this up earlier about pre-merge characters being amazing on this or good on this season. Allie and Rourke, like I feel like both of them were more on the side of super fandom when it comes to this season, and both of them get cut right before the merge, and the season kind of runs into a few of the older school seasons where, especially when they started casting a lot more recruits than regular folks that are not us, where the super fans get taken out early because they're such big fans of the show, because of this, because of that, whatever it is. And then we end up with a merge of people that don't really know what they're doing. And there's kind of Gabon is a great example. Gabon is just like a bunch of people just doing things. And then Randy, and it just kind of ends with this being this overly chaotic season. With here, we get rid of a lot of the super fans pre-merge. And then we have a bunch of people that are just kind of doing things. And that's how we end up with a Final Four that includes someone that could have been first boot, someone that's wearing a turtleneck in fucking Fiji, smarter Fabio, and, a Marine. Like, that's how we end up in that situation.
Very true. Yeah. And then we are going to lose Katrina as the first boot, who was an Olympic swimmer, but they didn't highlight that at all in the show. So, like, I think the only thing I'd heard about her was when Josh Wigler did the First One Out series. Like, I listened to that, I remember, and, like, had the whole piece on her being an Olympian, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then, just nothing was there in the show. So, but we'll see if she cracks anything in the rankings. I doubt it, but we'll get there.
She's nice.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
She is nice.
Nice.
So let's get ahead. Let's get back to the Hustlers because we're gonna get to the Patrick boot episode. Patrick's a big goofball. Also should be said, Patrick and Allie knew each other before the game. So they went to the same college. So that's why you see them talking, being like, I feel like I can trust you and that kind of thing. And Allie is going to be forced to cut Patrick because he's too crazy. But Patrick is a fascinating character. I mean, like I think what really screws him up is acting like too much of a goofball and then being really shifty. Like at Tribal, he basically says, I don't trust any of you, like is the slip up. And then he's just being really antagonizing towards Lauren. So
yeah, Patrick's Mike said it. I'm going to probably say this a lot during the pre-merge. Mike said it best. This pre-merge is, it might not be the most entertaining, but it has a lot of entertaining characters. Yeah. And Patrick is one. I mean, he even has words on his way out. And like this season is pretty good with people being pretty chill on their way out for the most part. But Patrick definitely has words. And I think that that was a cherry on top of a great boot, not boot episode, but a great boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Drew Christie kind of thing of like, you know that Patrick is going to get booted, but you're excited to watch his downfall. So,
Or Rome.
yeah, or Rome. Yeah.
Rome.
Except
He
it didn't
needed to
let
come back
Patrick
for
sit in the
50.
seat.
Anything else on Patrick here? Are we ready to move on?
I will say that Joe brought back Cool and Collective, so that was a
Yes.
fun little
Term.
flashback to the last one I did. So fun for that.
Yeah.
I was like, so
Very
we're
true.
still with the collective, huh? We're still with the
I don't know. Maybe he went to the Rodney school.
Well, and then of course Patrick leaves with "You guys are awful," so that was fun.
That was
My little
I
time.
forgot about that line.
You guys are awful.
I remember at the time he was super pissed. I think he like was very pissed at Allie for cutting him loose because of the bond they had. So like he was saying it in all his ex interviews. I remember. All right, so they swap from 3 tribes to 3 tribes, so 3 tribes of 5. So I think that's interesting that at this point, I mean, we were still doing 3 tribes, but we weren't doing it as much as when we'll get to the new era. So I thought it was interesting to switch from 3 to 3 instead of 3 to 2 at the time. And I think there's some interesting dynamics on each tribe. Obviously, I'm sure we'll get to what is going to happen here with Alan Ballboot, where, you know, Joe is going to read the room, read Ashley's face, and play the idol to save himself and get Alan out. But obviously, we also have Devin's advantage. That is not an advantage because Jessica blocks his vote. This is the first appearance of the vote blocker. So, thoughts on this?
That is not.
I think it's curious that she gives it to Devin because Devin is potentially, if you're outside of the vision of what tribal council would look like, Devin is a swing vote, and so it's interesting to give it to Devin because that really does potentially lock it into a potential tie.
Right.
And so she like does she do it on purpose? I don't know, but like that does seem a very interesting choice to give it to Devin. That was kind of my only take on that is like why give it to Devin?
Yeah, it's very interesting a decision, and I think it's one that ultimately, because Cole blabs it later, I think it's something that gets back to Devin that he got his vote blocked by Jessica. So it's absolutely something that comes back to bite Jessica, but it's mainly because of Cole. So
because my thought is like why not block somebody like Ashley so that your yellows, your healers can get some sort of advantage and maybe pull Devin in. So that's why I thought it was just a weird move. That's all.
Yeah, 100%. Any other thoughts, Drew or Jonathan?
I got nothing.
Drew?
No, yeah, I was confused in the moment the first time I watched it. Why Devin? But with all the hindsight and everything, it's like, well, I'm kind of happy that it was because we get it's the Parvati from Cook Island thing of like, oh yeah, that's not fun. I think was her line. Oh, that's not
fun.
And we get I read your face, baby girl, like all of that. And I think it's because it's Devin that gets the disadvantage. So yeah, first time confused. Every other time it's like, okay, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, it's a great tribal council. I'd put it up there with like probably in like a top 50 favorite tribal councils if I was going to count that high, because it is pretty fun. So
I also
Alan
think it's
Ball.
devastating to lose Alan there too, because Alan and Ashley are not actually that aligned anyway. They're really just doing it just to like basically to self-preservation.
Exactly.
And so if they had actually worked like with Ashley or with Alan in some particular way, maybe things would have been different, but they just assumed that Alan and Ashley were bonded. So I don't know. I hated losing Alan there, but I also don't know who I would have rather lost. So I don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things, but Alan was a fun character.
Yeah, I guess maybe I would have been fine losing Ashley just because Alan was a bit more of a character, but like I guess, you know, Ashley does you know, she flips with Devin, she's kind of, you know, part of that alliance. So I think she does something like it's low key, but I think her game is somewhat interesting later. So But yeah, so then we are gonna have Ryan divulging to Chrissy about he gave her the super idol, and this is what is gonna bond them together, and this is what is gonna cause Ryan to basically be the swing vote of like going with Allie's plan to vote out Chrissy, or turning against Allie and voting out Rourke, and then ultimately Allie, and he chooses to go with Chrissy and JP and vote Rourke and Allie out. So I mean, I think this obviously was the best decision for Ryan, but ultimately he is gonna burn allies. But I mean, they are allies that both end up going home by the end of the pre-merge, so I guess it doesn't really affect him.
Yeah, I mean that's Mike brought it up. You know that the super idol has never been used successfully or almost ever. Period. But in this situation, it's probably the best use besides Terry and Yule in 12 and 13, where you build this bond with this bond for a game. I don't know if it's for life, but for a game, we are together no matter what. Even when we end up on the bottom, I know we're going to get to it later. When we end up on the bottom and it's just the two of us, we'll figure it out together because we're like this now. And I think it's a testament to both of them that Ryan was willing to burn two people that felt pretty good with him, and in one person's case, very good with him, in order to, because of a super idol bond. As we're gonna see, it ultimately works for both of them to the very end.
Yes.
And that's, I'm more of a Chrissy person than a Ryan person, but I'm happy for both of them, I guess.
Yeah. Credit to both of them. Mike, Jonathan, any other thoughts on this?
I will say, Rourke's only confessional, I think, is in this episode. Like you kind of feel like, Rourke's probably going home based on the editing situation. But like I'm also like wondering, like, what did Rourke do to piss Jeff off? Like, why is she not in the first 4 episodes? But
I don't know.
I think Rourke had so much potential. I think the dilemma is that she felt so solid with the people that she was with that she didn't put in any work, where Chrissy put the work in. And I think that's what, the hustle that she put into that tribal council, I think is what, helps Chrissy's trajectory into the merge and like going forward, is that bonding with Ryan and really making sure that she can flip a tribal onto somebody who clearly felt very comfortable and very safe.
Yeah. I know Rourke like did RHAP for a bit after Heroes, Healers, and Hustlers. I guess I haven't seen her in a while around the community, but maybe she's still around. But I do think she's a very smart lady. So I think she could have been interesting later, but they just chose not to show her.
She who was the Sophie from this season kind of had a similar vibe, where she didn't have a very good edit in the beginning, but then once she made it to the merge, I think that could have been Rourke for sure.
Yes, Sophie, Yellow Sophie. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Jonathan, your thoughts on this swap?
I guess like the one thing that kind of occurred to me was how in this season there are a couple occurrences how people will exactly how a couple of people will trade off alliances in games because they think it might be a good move for them. But I think this was an example of like how, okay, going back on an alliance and you're swapping out for somebody else for this person and it pays off for you. Whereas on the flip side, as we'll talk about with Ben, it's like that's the worst thing that could happen to you is if you go back on an alliance for a group of new people and it doesn't work out. And so I think this is just a good example of how with Chrissy and Ryan, it ended up benefiting both of them going down the merge. I remember the fallout of this tribal council, or right before Allie gets voted out, and they go in to the next episode, and her and Ryan just are like going at it. And I was like, there was a lot of instances in this season where I thought people were just having like ton lashings of just like, it wasn't like stuff that was super drawn out, but it was like quick and painful, and it was like a lot of Band-Aid ripping for alliances in this season.
Yeah, they were yelling at each other quite a bit.
Like Ryan's yelling, I'm like, damn, that guy can yell that loud. I was like,
yeah.
Don't off.
Yeah, for sure. So right before we get into the merge now, I think we do have the Ben PTSD storyline, which like I mean, Jonathan, maybe you'll be able to speak to this a little more than the rest of us, but
Yeah, I think just as a character for Ben, like in the beginning, first off, I never thought this guy was going to win. I just thought that he was casted just to fill this role and whatever, because I know plenty of guys. It's like I've seen enough of this to be like, okay, everyone here is casted to fill a role.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like I was like, okay, we have this thing in common, but I didn't connect with him, and it wasn't even like necessarily this scene. It had a lot to do with like, okay, like he was in the military at a different time than I was in, so he's seen a lot more than I have. But his character for me, a lot of it really came out for the fact that he was just kind of like a big lovable goofball that like liked to be there and he was social to an extent, and he wasn't really trying to alienate himself from anybody. It's just that's the game of Survivor. Like you're just kind of in it and you're doing your thing and you make mistakes in the game, and sometimes that can cost you your status in the game if you want to win, because the whole point is to win. But I think this was probably the point when I started connecting with him just like more about like, okay, I'm kind of seeing him like he's being vulnerable, which is really hard for us to do sometimes. And it was just, that's kind of when I started getting him more. And I was like, okay, like me and him are two totally different guys from two different totally experiences in being in the military and the Marines. But it was like, I mean, we both virtually had the same job, but I didn't see anything. He actually got to see stuff, but I connected with him a lot more in the sense of him trying to kind of keep that down, but also play the game, and you're balancing a lot of different stuff. And then all of a sudden you go from that to now everyone's mad at you and now everybody wants to get rid of you. And it's like the only way for you to stay in this game is if you either find an idol or you win an immunity challenge. If not, you're going home. And so I guess I'm just really kind of defensive of him as a character, or as just like a person, in that sense that he just was, I viewed him more as like this big lovable goofball that's just playing the game and flapping his arms on the beach and stuff. And he's just, he's just trying to survive another day too. And all he can do is just drop bombs. I know, but at the same time though, I love Chrissy too. Like, Chrissy's amazing.
Yes.
I know we'll get more into that later, but like when he like just him as a character, and it's like, okay, he's starting to open up more, and I'm like, I think I saw a lot of myself in him as more as a person. The Marine thing was just to get like in the doorway for me to be relatable to him, but other than that, like personality wise, I just saw him like, okay, like I get this guy, like he's just a goofball kind of thing too. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's good to get like these different perspectives. I think that's what Survivor was built on, to get these different kinds of people from different walks of life.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like I'm going to use the term, and if people are upset, not people here, I just met you, but I don't think you'll be
people.
Like, I feel almost disgusted when I do hear folks say, oh, they rigged it for the Marine. It's like, do you know how many people have played in this game that are also military?
Yeah.
That they didn't rig it for? Like, why all of a sudden in season 35, in 2017, I think is when they filmed it.
Yeah, 2017.
All of a sudden, we're going to rig it for this one military person. And because the only reason they're showing all of this is because they want you to feel for them. It's like, I'm sure that has also happened for other people that have been in the military, done active duty, that have been on the show. They just didn't show it because this person didn't win. So winners had it, I guess. But it's not Survivor trying to like bootlick the military. It's this guy won, and we have to show all of the stuff now to like make him empathetic towards the audience. And like I will continue to say, I'm not the biggest Ben person, especially 2.0, but 1.0 is fine. He's a fine character. And it just never sat right with me that people are like very vehement about, oh, of course they did it for him. So, well, they haven't rigged for Sari, who they clearly love because they keep bringing her back. They haven't rigged for Ozzy, who they clearly love because they keep bringing him back. If they did rig for Tyson or Rob, it took them 4 times to do it. They love Coach. He hasn't won. So you're telling me they didn't rig it for any of these people, but this random J-Bro name Ben, in his first time playing, they're like, "Oh yeah, Ben, this is yours now.
He's the guy we're gonna rig it for.
This is the guy that we're gonna rig it for. Come on."
Yeah.
Even when they gave him like his story dump at this point in the season, I still didn't think he was going to win. Because when the ending, because I watched these in chronological order, I knew nothing about this guy. And it was like the beginning, I honestly didn't really care about him. Because I was like, okay, they're just cast typing someone. Like, that doesn't mean I'm identifying with this guy. Then we have this little moment. I'm like, okay, like, I'm getting it. And then we progress a little bit further. And then he has that huge blunder. And everybody wants to get rid of him. And I'm like, I really know what that feels like, especially in the game of Survivor. Like, you got to, like, figure it out or you're gone. And then he's fighting idols. And he's throwing his fucking hat up in the air. And he's like, I'm fucking, like, I'm still here. I'm like, okay. But I'm like, they're going to get him, right? Like, this is going to run out. They're going to get him. And we get to the end. And he loses that challenge. And I was like, bro, like, he's gone. That's it. That's gone. He's gone. And then they do this. I'm like, no fucking way. Like, no fucking way. And then the fire making challenge happens. And I know we're getting further into the season, but it was just, I didn't think he was going to win the whole time. And I think that's why I defended him, because this wasn't spoiled for me.
Yeah.
And watching this progress, fire making challenge gets thrown in there. And I'm like, you can still lose this.
Yeah.
And then, but I think this, even though we talk about 35 as like, it's kind of a neutral season or it's in the middle, it has some of the most like craziest editing of like they're built. Well, I guess with Ben, with him getting an edit, it kind of spirals into this thing at the end. But that final tribal council fire making edit was pretty wild. Like it's getting intenser, and then it just snaps, and he just fucking like gets up. Like I was like, oh shit! I was like, that happened. But I know we're getting further, but it meant a lot to me. But I didn't expect him to win at all. I thought it was just going to be like, okay, he cast typed it to fit. We get to his moment in the middle. Okay, there's something there. He messes up, and then it's like, you're gonna go home if you don't do something about this kind of thing. And I think that's why I related to him a lot about it. Plus, he's a big goofball personality. But I know we're kind of like going all over the place. But I love Chrissy too as well. Yeah. And they didn't really know like them bringing the fire making challenge in at that point. They didn't know like, well, because nowadays you can strategize around that. You can be like, well, maybe I should put my hat in the ring to make my stock go up if I do it. When you have a new game mechanic introduced in Survivor, especially in the first season that it's introduced, some people don't know how they can use that to their advantage until they have perspective on like a fire making challenge, which we'll see in like Edge of Extinction. But like the first time new game mechanics being introduced, I think it's very common for people to kind of play it safe because they don't know how you can manipulate a challenge or an advantage just yet. You need perspective on it to move forward. But that's my little soapbox for now.
You're good. Yeah. No, it was good to hear you talk about your experience and talk about your thoughts on Ben, because I think that's important, and I think Ben is like a good character in this season. Absolutely. So we do merge. We are going to start the picking off of the healers. I think let's just skip to the spaghetti plate, because this is the first time that is introduced, because it's going to be used in Australian Survivor. It's going to be used in more US Survivor after this. But how do you guys feel about this, where one person at a time gets to go in an order and they get to eat as much as they want, and there's always an advantage there? I mean, what do you guys think about this twist?
It's kind of funny.
I love it.
It's kind of funny. The next stage of the, I think it was first introduced in All Stars. I might be wrong.
Rupert
you pick everyone based on you pick what they get. I think it was introduced in All Stars. It might have been earlier. But it's just a different version of that. And in this situation, also idols exist now, and everything else that comes with that. This was watching it this time, and I'm going to watch it again in June, I think. Watching it this time, HHH is still middle of the road for me, but like, I gained a better appreciation of a lot of stuff that happens in this season. The characters, as Mike mentioned earlier, but like, just it's fun. And I think why I've always had this negative thing in my head about the season is every time I watch it, all I have in my head are these people saying, what it is, but as far as this specific challenge, I loved it, and I would hope that they potentially bring it back. It's been 15 seasons. It wouldn't be the crazy 15? Yeah, 15 seasons. It wouldn't be the craziest thing for them to just go all out in 15 and just bring back all the old fun ones.
Yeah, agreed. Mike or Jonathan, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it was interesting because there's no real strategy to it, but there is strategy to it, and I think it's just such an interesting way to see like who they picked, like what the order was, and then noticing that like some of the beefier guys that needed more of that carb load went first. I thought was really interesting, because like potentially like someone like Cole is going to eat the whole thing, right? Like so like you've got these people that are going in that are like, there's JP who's just like, nibbling and doing his thing. I'm like, no, eat the thing, like do your thing, like you need your carbs. But I also thought it was fun to watch the progression of how each player, as they realized there was an advantage, how they reacted to it. Like Chrissy puts the napkin over it to try to cover it up, but that doesn't really work. And then Ryan throws the plate into the field, or like into the woods. So it was just really fun to kind of watch that all play out. But I also think it's fun that they don't do it very often, because I think it is one of those things where it's like there is a strategy to it, but it's not outgamed because we don't see it often enough.
Yeah, I like this twist. I think it was All Stars in Guatemala. They had the order pick because then you have Judd doing it in Guatemala, and Jamie gives up his spot in that season. But I like it, and like we get so many iconic moments after it's introduced here, because you get the Golden God eating popcorn off the ground in Australian Survivor, you get Benji disgustingly eating nachos in Australian Survivor, you're gonna get a couple other moments in US Survivor where this happens, and I think it's a really fun twist. But Jonathan, your thoughts on it?
I just second everything that everyone brought up. It was a great addition.
Yeah. So then we're gonna lose Desi and Cole. I think it's crazy how they left Joe in the game over Desi. Like I think it was like Joe was pissing so many people off, and then they just end up like going to a tie with Desi and Joe, and then voting Desi off. Like I was a little shocked by that because they don't really explain like, oh, all of a sudden we're just gonna be targeting Desi after splitting the votes. Like
she won an immunity, Jake. So I mean, you wouldn't get it.
Yeah, apparently she was that much of a threat.
No, that wasn't a knock on Jake. That was it. Oh no,
you wouldn't get it, Jake.
You wouldn't understand, Jake.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it. No, that's more me sitting with these people, because I also am confused as to why they went after. Like, I understand that Joe is purposely trying to set himself up as the antagonist.
Yeah,
it's early enough in the merge. You can get rid of the antagonist.
Yeah.
Like, no one's really thinking who I'm dragging at final 11 or 10, wherever that was.
Yeah.
We're not thinking about this. Like, Joe, it works for Joe, so good on him. But you're picking Desi, and in my head, it's always been, because she won that first immunity, like, she's a threat. And, like, she's jacked as well. So,
100%.
Also that. But it's not like none of us meaning the other people that are there, are not almost equal to Jack to her, that we're that worried about Desi winning out from 12 or 11 to 3.
Yeah.
And potentially sitting at the end. Like that is crazy that they went that route.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel bad also because Desi was obviously very upset about it. Like it seems like she didn't quite expect herself to be like the actual target.
I think there was a part of me that felt like Desi got, I don't know if railroaded is the right term for it, but because I think she was so like perceived to be locked in with Joe, and because Joe was like the big like chaos agent, because they were also like, he's found all these idols, let's move the target to Desi, and it's easier to get Desi out because Joe's obviously going to play the idol on himself. Like he's not going to give it to someone else. And so I do think that's why Desi goes home. But I don't think Desi had any interest in sticking with Joe for any portion of this game. It just happened to be that she was like with him in the swap and all of that. And it was just like an unfortunate like turn of events for her. And I was devastated when she went, because she was actually my winner pick when I first watched it, but
Yeah.
she is a phenomenal player, and I think she just got kind of locked out of a lot of important conversations because of the perceived connection with Joe, and that was so unfortunate.
Yeah, like guilty by association. It's like she probably would have been like a more flexible social player with everyone if they had like actually just like let her in. She's like, I'm not tied to this guy, but like because we started together, it's like the curse of that and the one challenge.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's brief, like it's not spoilers because I'm not going to say anything because
What?
This is not with spoilers, but
I haven't seen this season.
Oh no, I'm going to talk about something that just aired last night.
Oh yeah.
There is an episode of The Traitor season 4 that is aired last night where someone is aligned with someone else, and everyone at the end of episode 3 kind of seems like they're going to target person 1 because they've aligned with the main antagonist here.
Yeah.
And it's like this, I think, because the HHH was fresh in my head. It's like, oh, that's sort of what happened in this specific episode that we're talking about.
It's take a shot at the minion because the villain's not going to sacrifice themselves for the minion.
Yeah.
So get rid of the minion first because it's going to be easier to take the shot at the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's skip ahead past Cole so we get the JP blind side.
Past Cole.
Cole's died. All right. Well, come on.
Yeah. I just want to say this man talked about eating 8,000 calories a day, and I'm just like, geez.
And he passed out too.
Yeah,
So.
Well, there was a comment made, I forget who it was, about the idea of like, dude, like you should train yourself before going into this game. Like pack on the pounds. Like you're going to starve for what, a month and a half. Like why would you care about your abs going into episode 1? Like make sure you got some dad bod going on so that you have some fat to like deal with that calorie deficit. You screwed up, buddy. Like that's just all it is. Like you screwed up. You didn't set yourself up for success. You cared more about looking good on TV, and that's unfortunately what it was.
Yeah. Well, let's do the JP blind side. So basically Ryan finds the idol when Chrissy and Cole are wrestling in the sand. And of course Ryan has the quip of it's one of the only things he's put in his pants. I thought was funny.
Also,
but
when you're under 100 pounds and there's this bulky thing just like sticking out of your shorts, it's pretty obvious, but nobody caught on, so good for him.
Yeah, good for Ryan. But Ryan tells Devin he's the only person that'll know about this. And then he goes and tells Ben, and of course,
immediately goes and tells Devin.
Yeah, so Ben goes and tells Devin, and then Devin's like, "Well, I don't trust Ryan anymore. Now we're gonna flip on Ryan and Chrissy." And like, kudos, like this is an amazing move by Devin as well. And so they're gonna flip the script, but they're gonna hit JP, which I understand that JP is this massive like physical threat, but you're taking out like clearly the worst player of the 3.
Him?
So,
What are you doing? It's the Gabon comparison again. It's like these people do not know what they're doing. They're doing crazy things. Like it's all the strategy of the season is otherworldly, maybe even, but it's not because people are doing it on purpose. Most of the time it's just
by accident.
Yeah, let's just kind of do this. Let's make this crazy move because this is. But let's go after JP because he's
holding everything together.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we don't get rid of JP, we're all losing at the end.
Yeah.
I perceived it differently. I perceived it in the way that JP is the least connected to anybody from the other group. So it's like, if I'm going to vote somebody out, right? Or if I'm going to be persuaded to vote somebody out, am I going to vote out Chrissy, who I talk to and who engages with me, Ryan, who is going to be like jumping at the bit to play with anybody, once he's at the bottom, or JP, who is going to get the firewood. So like, I think I'm going to vote JP out because if he's not engaging with me, if he's not strategizing with me, I have no use for him. So I think that's ultimately for me why I would have voted for JP as well. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it made sense, but I also understand why it didn't make sense.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Mike. Like, I think that's definitely the reason why JP ended up being the target. So,
I mean, he was nice to look at for a couple episodes. So
Yeah.
And now you have Ryan to look at. It's all good.
Now you just have Ryan.
Yay, Ryan.
yeah,
Did he ever grow any facial hair whatsoever? JP.
Like a little bit, right? No,
a little.
JP.
I don't know.
did he?
I don't think
Like,
JP
go back and watch. Like, I don't think he ever had any sort of like, unless it was
Stubble?
like super blonde that I just couldn't see it. But like, I was like, he looks the same from episode 1. Like, I don't see any difference.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention because
He was a robot.
Yeah, they didn't want to show
he was a
JP on
robot.
camera.
I was blinded by his abs. I couldn't see anything.
Me too.
I was like, oh.
And when he took his pants off, just
blurred out, like you couldn't even see anything. Like, whatever.
Oh my God. Yeah, hopefully that should prove that he doesn't have an idol. That he's
I mean, like, never mind. I'm
Yeah, you're
Mike,
definitely
Mike,
idol.
keep on talking. Mike,
is
keep on talking.
different. Man, it's
What was
about-
next?
But yes, so then we also get the formation of the Coconuts. Officially, Dr. Mike and Joe are now the Coconuts, and this is where they are going to get broken up because then they're going to flip back and vote off Joe. Again, Joe was an interesting villain for the show, an interesting antagonist. I mean, like, you have him basically being the antagonist to the winner of the season because he's literally like making these lies up about Ben of like he swore on the Marines, which is a crazy lie to make up.
Oh, dude, I'm like, if you want to like really get under like people like Marine skins, just say something like that because that's like not that's again for me. And I think that's why I love Ben so much was he wasn't someone that I liked immediately. He was a slow burn that like turned into like stuff like that is what elevated my love for him just as a character was like, oh, little stuff like this would happen where people would like take out of game context about him, like stuff that he takes like really seriously, and he'll get out of game context for a second and like, okay, like we're messing around here, like no, we're not, but then he'll still kind of rein it back in. He had a lot of self-control for a lot of stuff, which is again why I liked him a lot, is because sometimes people don't have self-control when it comes to things like that. But that was just something that I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. Like that he just added another layer to why I'm increasingly liking him as a character going forward in the game, kind of thing.
Underrated survivor lie. We don't talk about that lie at all. And like it is, I mean, it's not a big part of Ben's story, but like it is a big part of the Joe versus Ben arc.
Yeah.
Like Joe, who, you know, is Mr. Chaos and all that, decides to pull this one out, say, oh man, that's I'm with Joe, I'm with you. But I feel like you can lie about almost anything in these games. Like Dead Grandma has never really bothered me.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm like, oh man, you're messing with the Marine who has shown that he's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Why would you put yourself in a situation where I don't think, like Jonathan has said, he showed a lot of self-control, but let's say he doesn't, and we have the first ever person kicked off of the show. Like let's say that happens because you brought this into it. Because up to this point, most of the lies that are being told in the game, 35 seasons in, are either game related or outside the game related that have, you know, like my grandma died is not gonna, you know, this you're questioning this guy who's probably in his 30s, or I don't know, he's probably in his 30s at this point, who's committed his entire life to this, and you're questioning his whole that bad move by Joe.
Yeah.
But never talked about. Unless you're watching HHH, you don't hear people talking about, hey, you remember the time that Joe said that Ben swore on the Marines?
Yeah. Because there's so much other stuff like happening and going on too, and it's like, has Chrissy won immunities at this point, or is
I think she's about to. I think it's
about to go on a run?
7 through 4 is she wins her 4 immunities.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Here, I mean, we can just start getting into it now. I mean, we are gonna get the really bad challenge, probably the worst challenge ever, where they draw marbles out of a bag for their loved ones. Like, this is the worst challenge ever invented. Why would you do this, Survivor?
And we had kites in season 4. And
Hey, bring kites back.
This is worse. And because of what had happened the tribal beforehand, where Ben had flipped on Chrissy and Ryan,
Yes.
we have that. I think Jonathan brought it up earlier about how there are a lot of moments in the season where people are like getting into it, and we have that moment where Chrissy and Ben are kind of getting into it. Hey, you're not in my plans and all this, and then to immediately get to this challenge where it is a loved ones challenge that's also luck based, sort of. And Chrissy's just like, yeah, fuck off.
Your sweet Kelly will never get to see it.
Yeah, fuck
and I think that's what makes this challenge not the worst for me.
Yeah.
Because of the social aspect of the challenge of just Chrissy just not care. Like, I don't care a bit. And Ben, you know, oh man, my wife, and like, you know, Jeff, and in my head me says Mr. Jeff, thank God he didn't. But like Jeff, like blah blah blah. And Chrissy's like, yeah, sorry, Chrissy's a MILF, and I just want to point that out because Mike had his crush, and I want to point out
Mike's crush.
All right, cool.
Cat's out of the bag.
Chrissy's a MILF, and her little blue bathing suit is like amazing, and I love her.
Listen, I'm gonna say Desi almost flipped me in this season.
Yeah, Desi I'm gonna admit that too.
Yeah, Desi's very good looking. Yeah, I think what's interesting about this kind of dynamic and part of the season is you've got kind of Chrissy and Ryan being completely shut out. Like Lauren shuts Chrissy down, Mike shuts Ryan down. They have zero social capital. Yeah. And then Chrissy wins this challenge, and it's like, here's my social capital. I get to play the game. Like, and so I think it really reminds us of, like, you know, don't screw with every like situation. Like, if you're putting Chrissy and Ryan at the bottom, at least make them feel a little fluffy, a little bit, you know, put a pillow there when they fall. Like, I don't know, something, because then Chrissy wins the challenge and completely like blows up Ben and like, nope, sorry, not gonna help you. But I think that the social dynamic of the game at this point, I think everybody plays terribly. I think that the social dynamics start becoming very selfish, and they forget that they're playing a game with other people. And that's kind of what blows the game up at the end.
And it's like everyone's kind of starts going on their own individual like side quests, and it's no longer kind of like where it's more of just like, okay, like this person's gotta go, and it's like, well, I individually have to go look for an idol, or I individually have to go do this to that. I think it's like a question mark. It's quite the season's quite the conundrum.
We've sung, I guess all of us at some point or another have sung Ben's praises for first half of this, where Ben becomes, I guess, the antithesis of Mike Holloway is. Yeah. Mike Holloway is winning all these immunities because people have established, we are trying to vote you out because you're not a part of the Dickhead Alliance, is what I call them. Yeah. You're not part of the Dickhead Alliance, and we need you out because you're a threat. In this situation, Ben basically puts himself in that Mike Holloway spot on purpose, makes himself the antagonist. Hey, I'm going to make everyone hate me so that I can be the only person that votes for Lauren. Yeah. We're going to get to that in a second, but I'm going to make myself the dick. So we vote out Lauren, so that the rest of the game, everyone wants me out. It's like, yeah, that's not the best, because unless you're finding all the idols or winning all of the immunities, you're going to get voted. We're going to vote you out the next time that you are not safe. And so Ben, the winner of the season, neglects the social game for the second half of the season. Christy, the robbed goddess of the season, sort of neglects the social game the rest of the season. Ryan sucks. So like we have. I'm sorry, Jake.
It was like long sentence. Ryan sucks. Moving on.
Devin's
rad.
Yes, Devin has a wholesome Fabio thing going for him. That if he sits next to any of the two of the final three, he wins. Not because his social game was amazing, but because he's more likable than these other folk. And yeah, we end up in a spot where we're just we can't vote on social game at the end of this game.
Yeah, like
it's
like
one of the
you're-
only seasons where we can't vote on social game because there's not much there.
Yeah, like you were saying, Coach Drew, like how like the second half, it's like most or all of the players, or some of the players, I guess, depending on how you look at it. Like, all right, so you're saying it's like social game is now has no currency, and it's like we just only value challenge performance and like
Idols.
advantage placement kind of thing too.
I'm going to disagree with something that you said, Coach Drew, just because I want to defend my girl Chrissy.
Okay.
I think that Chrissy didn't necessarily disengage from the social game. I think everyone else had, and so when Chrissy tries to engage, she just keeps hitting brick walls, and so I think she just eventually just kind of like lets herself like play into the game of what everyone else is doing.
They built the monster.
I think there's a lot of opportunities where Chrissy goes to the right people, but they just shut her down.
Yeah.
And which is understandable. That's a game to play. But then suddenly Lauren goes home, and then Ashley goes home, and like all these people that like are starting to shut down to Chrissy. Chrissy's like, well, I was trying to work with you. I was trying to help you out, but you didn't want to talk to me. So to me, I think Chrissy tried to play the social game. I just think that people seem to be locked in with like Jessica felt really confident, and then Joe felt really confident, and like Lauren felt confident, and so all these players just like were so confident that they weren't really playing the social game, and Chrissy was kind of like left out in the dust, and that's how I feel about it. I think she did play or tried to play a social game.
Yeah, so it's one of those movie moments or TV moments where the villain is built because of what the heroes.
Yeah,
who are the real heroes? Who are the real villains?
Yeah,
and it's
I won't. And Chris is one of my favorite people.
Yeah,
mainly because she's my crush on the season. But so I'm not trashing her.
We know you're not trashing her.
Yeah.
We heard.
But I've never thought about it that way. As far as they basically turned her into the second half secondary villain behind Ben, and like we really don't have any protagonist the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, Devin, 100% Devin.
I think it's Devin, but
because Devin's the hot guy who actually has a brain.
Yeah. For once.
We have one. I think Malcolm had a brain to an extent.
Yeah,
Malcolm is my boy.
Don't touch Malcolm. Okay, but that's a good point too with like the Chrissy Ben dynamic is how like they both end up getting hated, but like there's some not etiquette, but there's something, they both have things going for them, but they're the social, again, I think it's the social etiquette that we keep talking about is devalued, but like Chrissy is breaking records and winning challenges. She's coming back for 50 and she seems like she's in a good social standing, but like is not. And then like Ben's making all these big idol moves and like but can't get, he made one bad mistake and now people are out to get him. It's so weird how like both of their relationships, and they have a falling out with each other. Yeah. And it's like they almost are kind of like they are literally the two reflections of each other, like in the season for different reasons, how you can be making big moves or winning challenges, but like somehow your social game etiquette has caused people to kind of go against you for one reason or the next. So,
let's keep moving in the interest of time as well. So Ben has just played double agent. As we said, he falls out with everybody, and then we're going to get to tribal, and he's going to start his Ben bombs. And we're also going to have the move where Dr. Mike throws Lauren's shell idol into the fire because he just wants to cause chaos because it's Dr. Mike now. He's getting revenge.
I loved that moment.
He's one lone cook.
And I've always wanted to do this.
Yeah, that was fun. Good for Dr. Mike for screwing Lauren over on like something that she clearly shouldn't have done. So but Ben is going to pull his Ben bombs out. Lauren's going to make that stupid move, and Lauren Rimmer is going to be voted out. I remember at the time there were Lauren Rimmer stands. Like people loved this woman at this point.
I thought she was going to win when the merge hit. I thought she was I thought she was one of the people that had a chance at winning the game.
I think she did too. It's just that this shell move was really bad.
My favorite part of this, I think it was the same episode where Ben, it's not a spy shack. He's just literally just hiding in the not even while hiding.
He's just standing right there, like you swim behind them all while they're talking about him.
It's so funny.
He stumbles. Oh, I heard my name, so I went. I walked in.
It's like what Tony did in Game Changers with Sandra and Troyzan, just walks up on
Yeah.
Zach, heard you guys talked about me.
him.
Go to bed. Go away.
So yeah, Lauren Rimmer's gonna get voted out, and now Ben continues to find idols, finds another one, and this is gonna be interesting because Ben ends up playing it before like anybody even casts their votes, which is an interesting thing that Jeff allows this to happen. I'm actually shocked that this was allowed, but
Well, I think when you've got team TV going, like you don't stop it, right? Like if Ben wants to get up and wants to have this show and this moment, let him have it. And like I don't know, I think there's a lot of people that like put the idol on right before the vote, right? Like you're not going to vote me out and all these things, and like you got to make this move of saying like, yep, I'm playing it anyway. I'm going to play it. So like, don't even screw it up. Like don't vote for me.
Because I think it's been in the past, like what Tony tried to validate something, Mike Holloway tried to do it. I think here, because Ben is ultimately 100% going to play it. I guess that's why Jeff allows it at that point, because it's not really validating. It's 100% he's playing it.
So this is the Gary Hawkins idol.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good
pull.
Dark horse of the golden age.
Yes. Gary Hawkins / Logan Boom,
Yeah, that was a great pull. So Ashley is gonna get turned on. She denies Devin a hug. So poor Devin.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she did just get unanimously voted out of nowhere, seemingly. So, but
shit like that.
She broke up with JP for him. Like that's devastating. Like to be voted out by the guy that you left the other guy for. Like that's right in front of the other guy. Like that does suck. I get it.
Yeah, I do get it too. So then we're gonna get to the final five, and I know this is gonna start the controversy because people are saying, "Oh, of course Ben is sleeping right where he's gonna find his third idol." So I know that there's controversy of like people were like they hid the idol right where Ben sleeps to like rig it, which I don't think so. They just decided that was somewhere they were gonna hide it.
Was this the point where he goes out like he's like, well, after tribal council he doesn't go straight to bed, like he just goes off into the woods and searches all night? I'm like, okay, like getting lost in the woods at night, and then it's like waking up or not even waking up. Like I was like, is he gonna like find another one? I was like, there's no way he's gonna find another one, and then he does. And I'm like, oh shit, okay.
And this isn't even the first time this has happened. Like
literally, like
always been doing this.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like this isn't like an anomaly. This isn't like an anomaly thing. Like it's I don't know. Maybe we could talk about it like afterwards. I just find it fascinating that this season gets the most. It's one of the most neutral seasons ever. But this isn't like a new. I think it's probably like victim of circumstance, or like it's like we were going to do this anyways before any of these people showed up to the island, and it was just like literally the right person needed to, or right people at the right time, right place, or wrong time, wrong place, if you want to look at it like that.
Well, and I think that the edit is really interesting because you see a lot of them sleeping down by the beach, like throughout the last couple of episodes, and Ben is really the only one that's sleeping in the shelter, and so I think there's that part of it too, where it's like, I mean, like they've hidden it in the shelter before, so or they've done this before, again or before. I can't remember what seasons, but like this has happened before. So it's not a new thing that an idol's in the shelter. But at the end of the day, Ben's the only one sleeping there. The rest of them are all sleeping down by the beach. Yeah. They're also, none of them are searching the woods. None of them are following him around. They admit to it. They say that like, we followed him around for a while, but we just gave up. Like, no, look for the idol.
Look for the idol.
Yeah.
Go through his shit.
Like it's
do something.
They were just so confident that there wouldn't be another idol or that he wouldn't find it, and then he just kept finding them.
Right. Yeah. Because I'll say I agree with that, because Desi does call them out in the final tribal of like, why didn't you guys stop him from finding anything? And then
It's so simple.
And Chrissy even admits it. She's like, we didn't think he would find anything. Like, we really
Yeah.
didn't
Which
think
is
he would.
silly because we know how small these beaches are.
Yeah.
There's only so he who must not be named in season 19 said, like, there are only so many places that these things can be hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on the same beaches last season and the season before that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There can only be so many places that these things can be hidden. And if my back's against the wall, I am also going to get up the ass crack of dawn to
Not
look
even
for
good.
this.
Yeah.
I've already had luck finding one or two. I don't remember. I mean, up to this point, I've also made one.
Yeah.
Let me just do it and see what
Chrissy
happens.
wakes up at one point and goes, yeah, Ben's not here. I think he's out looking for an idol. And they all talk about it for like 30 seconds, and then that's the end of it. So it's like, okay, well, just let him go find the idol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if like that edit was to kind of be like, well, there's no way to, if you have a problem with like this winner or just like the contestant, or it's like, well, here's numerical evidence of like people having the opportunity to stop or go against a player from doing something, but them not doing it kind of thing. I guess that depends on how they wanted to edit it this season. But I was like, he's going back out there for another one too. And I was like, again, I still don't have faith that Ben is winning this game at the point of this. I'm like, but for some reason, I still like him. And this shit's still happening. And I'm like, he just gave me another reason why I liked him even more now. And it's like, okay, like he's getting the edit, but I'm like, I'm still not convinced that he's going to win this because because we have Chrissy doing her shit too on the other end. And I'm like, okay, well, she could fucking win. Like, you know, because she has the plan, right? She has the plan. Like, I got Ryan, I got all these plans. I'm winning. I'm breaking records. I got Gollum next to me. We're going to the fucking end. Like, we're gonna win this season. And then it's like, then you got Ben doing his shit over there. Like,
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
but like, it's again, like, it's just, it was another crazy situation. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we are gonna get the third Ben bomb at Tribal.
This is our first hashtag Ben Bomb.
Yes,
too, right?
hashtag Ben
Ben
Bomb.
The hashtag.
Yep, secret. And Devin, assuming that he could be a vote, makes a really smart move, ends up voting for Dr. Mike, which is going to save his ass at Tribal. So this is a really great move.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, poor Dr. Mike, but it was such a good move by Devin. So,
but I feel like we end up with the same result, unfortunately, right? Like if Mike survives this vote and then the twist is revealed, it probably ends up being Mike and Ben in fire. And I don't see Mike in any particular way doing better than what Ben was able to provide and show and do. So I think we end up with the same result. But I think it also ups Devin's like strategic capital that he plays the game. He knows what he's doing. He made a smart move. I think Devin is the big threat that nobody's really paying attention to.
Yeah.
It's so annoying, but like also cool to be like, yeah, okay, Devin's gonna win this game until the twist.
Yeah. And even again, it seemed like a lot of like, because now that we're going into this the Final Four situation, like Chrissy's going on a tear, she's doing her thing, she's being amazing, and she's got Ryan next to her, and it's like, all right, Devin, I think you can go take on Ben because you're the only option. But at the same time, though, if Devin was in the final three with her and Ryan, I think he would also give Chrissy a run for her money as well in that sense. And it's a lot of what's the word? I don't want to use the word convenient. But like, I think a lot of people, when they have gripes about the season, it's like, this is like a situation that's so convenient. But I don't know if it was meant to be convenient. I think it was just like, holy shit. Like, it was just, we were going to do this thing beforehand, before we even admitted to doing it. And then, or these ideas or plans were going to come together. And they just happened to turn out the way that it did, kind of thing. Like reversed lightning in the bottle, if you want to call it. Like, the lightning is out of the bottle. Like, there's no, like, it's just everywhere.
I think it was an editing error. I think that what they could have done is from the very beginning talked about the secret advantages and secret twists and made it made it more of a thing at the beginning instead of editing it in the final episode and being like, this has been a season of secret advantages. And it's like, yeah, It has. That's true. But like set it up at the beginning of the season, like Ghost Island does, right? Like if that's the whole theme of the season. And so like if that's going to be your kind of like underlining theme, because the actual theme sucks. Sorry. But like if that's going to be your underlining theme, post it in the beginning. Make it like you've got the secret advantage that Ryan finds. Make that a thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that in the edit. They didn't really make it seem like that was going to be a thing. He could have announced it at the, you know, the first challenge. Like, guys, there's going to be a lot of secret advantages, or there's going to be a lot of secrets as part of this season.
Yes.
That's all he had to say to set it up. That's it. And they didn't do it. And I think that's like what costs the integrity of the end, unfortunately.
Like it's the hindsight thing again, because if you're the Survivor editors, you're not purposely trying to put out a season that's going to get backlash. It's going to get, you know, you're trying to put out the best product possible.
Yeah.
You can't take into account that people are going to think in 2017 or 20 whatever it was.
Yeah.
That the backlash for this season is going to be what it was. Having said that, yeah, you just knock it out of the way at the beginning, because I mean they did the same thing in Co Wrong, where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're voting out a juror this time, and it's like, okay, it's another season where people are like, oh, they just, you know, the jury was just so pissed off with Aubrey. I'm like, I've never gotten the vibe that the jury was that pissed off with Aubrey that she just didn't win. This is not this, you know, 35. It's not this. It almost sucks that it was Ben who was like this force coming at us, because if it was Dr. Mike that was doing all, like you were play Dr. Mike's fighting on the idols, Dr. Mike wins Final Four. It's because he's a vagina doctor. It's like, well,
because he's a doctor.
All right. I mean, that's a weird thing to say on Reddit, but sure, you know, I guess it's because he's a vagina doctor. No, it's almost frustrating, not because of that it is Ben, but that it is Ben who played in this season. If it's Ben that plays at Winners at War, it's like, yeah, okay, the guy that is basically a cuck most of the time just happens to luck his way into Final Three. No one's gonna care, but because it's the person finding all the idols magically, which is not magically, it's just the only person looking for idols, we get the backlash that we do, and that's annoying. Sorry for all the phrasing there. I'm just
you're good. I think it's important.
Needed.
Yeah, I think it's important because obviously now we're gonna get to fire making. Chrissy's gonna tie the record for women, winning 4 immunities. I mean, that's part of her legacy going into 50. And we get like the upside down U from Ben, like this beautiful editing of like, Chrissy's so excited, Ben's like so depressed that he just lost. And
I thought that was it. I was like, this is it. Like this, like there's no way. Again, the benefit of like watching these in order and not knowing anything about it, and then like seeing how it turned out, I was like, this is amazing. I know I know people are like, this is like stupid and whatever, and it's like it seems uber convenient, but I was like, whoa, like okay, like we're now going into this era. It's like, this is fucking sucks. It's over. We get to tribal council. Then Jeff's like, oh, by the way, and I was like, huh? And I was like, I will say, I just really liked how they edited this sequence of the season. Was just like, it was like the music was building up and the fire making challenge. I like this little sequence. It just stands out a lot too for me. And I was like, but again, I thought he was screwed from the jump. Like I was like, there's no way this guy's gonna win. He gets some level of character equity for me, and then it just like, even though the season was all over the place, I guess in general, going into this Final Four group, I was like, okay, this is, even though there isn't something here, there is something here at the same time.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like with like the forced fire making, like I'm not a fan of it. I think it should be a vote, but at the same time, I understand the reasoning of like, well, a lot of times it is just voting out like the best player right before the end. That's why they did it. But I mean, I think it should be more like just natural. I mean, if you're the best player, shouldn't you be able to make it to the end, dodge the last vote? But I don't know, like it's just I don't really like forced fire making just being continuously used. I would have been fine with it if they like kept it for a few seasons and then switched back. But because it became the norm, it's kind of just annoying at this point.
I think this is the longest consecutive twist outside of Idols.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's been around for 15 seasons. Oh, it's going to be 15 seasons because
Yes.
I don't know how y'all voted for 50, but I wouldn't be. There's only one thing I'm confident that everyone universally voted for. It's the live reunion. I feel like everyone,
if that's
even the
not...
trolls, probably voted for that. I am convinced that the casuals outnumber us. And that they like Final Four fire making, and that they voted for Final Four fire making, and we're going to keep it in 50.
Oh dear.
I'm convinced. So I voted with the numbers.
Oh,
I was going to comment for when we like talked about like what about this season like continues things on, but I'll just say it now since we're talking about it. I think it would be fun to put it as an advantage in the game. So if you win the advantage, or maybe some sort of legacy advantage, where if you're the one that gets voted out, you can play the legacy advantage to make it fire making.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good
one. I think that's more power to the players rather than it just being like, hey, this is how the season's going to end, but give it as an advantage instead.
Mike, can I ask a question on that? So in that situation, so they get voted out at Final Four, but they use the advantage and they win. For you, would you hold it against the jury at that point for still not voting for that person because they got voted out?
I mean, like again, like I think you talk about it during the outplay portion of the game where you say, I won this advantage or was given this advantage or somehow earned this advantage. I had it. It's basically an idol at 4, more or less. It just gives you that one extra chance to like save yourself. I think it's still playable. I think you can talk about it at the end if you make it there and say, I had this advantage. Nobody knew about it. I played it when I needed it, and I was able to get to the final 3 on my own merit.
Yeah.
But I agree with you guys. I agree with you. I was just playing. Yeah. I agree with you.
No. I think there's a way to argue and say like, hey, like this was something that was useful to me and I used it and needed it when I needed it.
Yeah, and I think I agree with that, and I think like that's the only other thing I can see forced fire making like adding to it. Like that's the only other thing left they could do with it, because I feel like the last thing we could ever see from it is what happens in Edge of Extinction. Like, like I just think it's so played out at this point. But I think Mike, that's a great way to reinvent it in a way, and I'm shocked that they have not done that.
Exile Island didn't even last this long.
No. Nope. They put it on a hiatus, brought it back for San Juan del Sur, and then just like got rid of it completely.
Send it off. Bye. See you later.
Also thankful that Redemption Island also just disappeared.
Yeah. We can do away.
Medallion of Power was gone halfway through a season. Not even halfway. Like
4 episodes.
Not even halfway. Not even a pre-merge. not even a full pre-merge. I was like,
so Devin Pinto is going to lose forced fire making. We will see if he argues his way into the final top 10 of Fallen Angels. But
he will. He absolutely will. Like he was that iconic of a character that at the finale, Jeff brought him up there and was like, "Listen, Devin, you're such a great guy."
Yeah,
like it's like he had like,
but it hasn't been brought back. Why?
The audience loves you.
I will get to that. I think we can bring that up when we get to the rankings. But so we get to final tribal, and all 3 of them are kind of grilled for not having a social name. And Chrissy does bring up like she knows things about them, but she still isn't given the credit. And Ben is given the credit for finding these idols and everything. And Ben ultimately ends up beating Chrissy and Ryan in a 5-2-1 vote. So congratulations, Ben. Anything else before we get to the rankings?
I won't say lackluster final 3 because I think that it's compelling. 2 of them are very compelling. The 2 that first and second.
Y'all are real Ryan haters.
I like Ryan.
I like Ryan.
I'll like after we go off air, I'll bring up stuff. But
I'll bring up personally.
but for the top two, it's like, yeah, this is what we're left with, and I'm not saying that they're leftovers, but this is what we're left with here. Of these two, this is very compelling because I don't think there is a definite winner between the two. Like these two are actually fighting for their $1 million. And I know Jonathan said a few times this season or tonight. In this situation, I didn't know for sure Ben was going to win.
Yeah.
Even though I knew Ben won going into the season because Reddit told me that they fixed it for him to win. But watching it, it's like, oh man, maybe I just stumbled upon the wrong form of Reddit. Maybe Chrissy does win because she's done great in 2 of the 3 aspects of the game, the 2 least important things of the game, but still. Ben, yeah, he's finding idols. That's so cool, neat, and he also has a great story. He has a great story, and he's finding idols. Neat. I don't know how this is going to go. I was more shocked that it was basically a landslide because he won by more than 3 votes. Or no, he won by 3 votes.
5-2-1, I think.
Yeah, so he won by 3 votes. I was shocked by that because I did feel like it would be a lot closer. I did feel like potentially a rogue Ryan vote ends up costing Chrissy, when in reality that's not the case. Like even if Chrissy gets that 3rd vote, she still loses. And that once it's not frustrating if you just watch this season in a bubble, but you watch Winners at War and it's like, yeah, Ben lucked into being in a season with a bunch of people that didn't want to follow him to look for idols. So something very simple to do. We didn't want to do that, and he lucked into being at the end with an older woman who just happened to be a strategist. Oh no. And some fuck with a turtleneck. Like that's I'm sorry. Once again,
Ryan,
like I apologize. The defender and everything.
I gotta defend my nerdy bro.
Everybody has like Ryan defender, Ben defender, Chrissy defender. Like it's just like everyone's defending everyone. Like everyone has all these final 3 have something like very defendable about them for some reason. It's like I don't remember any. Well, probably there has been a final 3 before, but that's been like kind of like not liked, but also you defend them for some reason. Like there's something about them that you want to defend for about a certain case with what they're doing in the game. But yeah, even at this point, I still didn't know if Ben was going to win, or at least I thought that it was going to be a lot closer to that because like Chrissy's played a very physical game, and socially she's I guess been definitely, I think people would say better than Ben in this case, but like they're having to make up for their weaknesses where Ben's like, well, I need to find idols and I need to have a compelling story. Whereas like this could be looked at as another situation of someone winning this season that has a really good story about why they win. And it's happened before in other seasons too. I guess to take away from it, from being in the finale, is like, don't underestimate someone's story. We've seen it happen before in different seasons too. Like Jeremy had a great story as well. And sometimes all you need is a good story as a player to win.
That's true. I mean, I will say with those, I don't think it's the sole reason why like Adam and Jeremy won the game, but I do think like a story does help for sure. Yeah. I'm not gonna like deny that. But let's get to the rankings here. And so on the screen, so I don't think Katrina Radke is cracking this top 10. But we have first. Yeah, so we have Tina Wesson, All-Stars, Sonia Christopher, Borneo, Johnny Fairplay, Micronesia, Francesqua, Caramoan, Zane Knight, Philippines, Sierra Easton, Game Changers, Sugar Heroes vs. Villains, Francesqua again, Redemption Island, Chicken, Damn China, and Rupert Bonham, Blood vs. Water. So is Katrina going to crack this? I don't think so.
Oh, man.
Unfortunately.
I feel like we're spinning a wheel.
Seems so nice.
Yeah. I just don't think that nice is unfortunately enough to crack this amazing top 10 of First Boots. All right.
I will say what's interesting about that list though, because I haven't been here in a couple of seasons, it's like a lot of returners. Like so, I think for us, I think it was just people that like we recognize the names and we like those players from their original seasons. So of course they're like sad boots to be first boot, so we ranked them high. That's unfortunately the problem with the ranking of the first boots.
True. Very true.
So,
Very true.
Katrina, you were probably high enough.
All right. Fallen Angels. So we're ranking Devin Pinto. We got Sari Fields, Rob Sesternino, Kelly Wentworth, Malcolm Freeberg, Jerry Manthe, Kathy Vio, Rudy, Ty Trine, Yao Man Chan, and Lex Vandenberg. I think Devin does crack the top 10, so that would knock Lex out, but which placement are we putting Devin Pinto at? Or does someone argue that Devin doesn't deserve to be in the top 10?
Oh, so this isn't revealed yet. Like you're about to do the reveal.
Well, this is the reveal of the top 10.
So it's already been decided.
Yes. So, we just have to decide if Devin belongs in the top 10.
Well, I think he does.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he does, but I'm also looking at the names of these players and like they all also deserve to be there too. Like I don't think Lex deserves to be bumped. Like he is a super solid.
He is a good player.
Yeah,
Fallen Angel for that third season.
I think he's a good player, but I think Devin is better than Lex. I think just because I think Devin was a very solid, likable player. Not saying Lex wasn't, but I do think I don't think Devin made too many slip ups really at all. And I think Lex had a lot of flaws to his game.
I can see Ty getting like bummed out.
I could, but I mean, we would be bumping Ty down if
Ty still stays at 9.
Okay. I mean, he's gonna get like 11th or 10th. I feel like.
So, if this is the only 10 that we can work with, then I would put Devin in between Jerry and KVO, and I'm absolutely biased because I'm not a KVO person, mostly because of All-Stars. So I would put Devin there, but I also don't have Yao Man and Ty swapped like that. But yeah, I would put Devin in between Jerry and KVO.
I think I'll probably agree with that. I think out of the other 5, I think Devin is a better player than Yao Man, Ty, Rudy, and Kathy. I do love Yao Man, but I do think Devin's a better player.
It's a turtle.
It's a tweedle. All right, so I will add Devin Pinto to number 6.
Wow.
So, all right, and Lex is booted off the Fallen Angels list.
Coach, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Lex.
Wow. Good for Devin. Like I think for me, he was like a forgotten player. Like there's been so many great Fallen Angels that like Devin, I think I just forgot about him, but I agree he's a great player.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we have losing finalists. We're going to be adding Chrissy and Ryan. I'm wondering how this is going to go. Losing finalists, we have Boston Rob All-Stars, Parvati Heroes versus Villains, Russell Hance Samoa, Stephen Fishback, Ozzy Colby, Amanda Kimmel Micronesia, Kelly Wigglesworth, Jacqueline Mish, and Spencer Ryman Bledsoe. So I don't think Ryan's cracking it. I can't really defend him going in here. So by Ryan, and then Chrissy, I think that's the real discussion. Is Chrissy going to knock Spencer or Ryman out of the top 10?
I think she will.
Yes.
She's too like, I mean, I've heard ever since that season, it's like she's been up there with players that have been like, she's in the same category of players that have been like they should have won that season, but they didn't. And it's like it doesn't matter how you feel about the other player or whatever. It's like whether you like him or not, they're constantly in circulation on like they should have won their season kind of thing. And so I think she'll definitely break the top 10 in there. She's back for 50. Like she got one of those coveted slots.
And her legacy, she tied the women's record. She did play a really aggressive and good game, and I probably would have voted for her over Ben. Like I think she deserves her flowers. So I'd be good with putting her in there.
I think she'll get I think she might bump Amanda down, and I think she'll be because those top 6 are really hard.
Yeah,
I think she'll
think
get like 7th.
I
Mike,
think
please
for
go
me,
before I
Colby to me, like, just his whole arc just goes away. But I do think
Until
that
50.
season yeah, okay.
He's coming back.
I think
No,
season,
like,
sure. Yep.
he's
If
gonna ride
Colby
off
gets
at the
the first
sunset.
boo, I don't know what's happening. But Colby, I think, is a good player of season 2, and I think he's iconic because of like how season 2 plays out. So I don't think Chrissy beats him, but I do think that either somewhere between Amanda and Kelly or Colby and Amanda is where Chrissy belongs.
Mm-hmm. Like, because those first 6 are that's hard. Like, that's really hard to like get through. Like, I'm gonna say she's gonna get 7th. She's gonna be like like knocking on the door of getting in there.
Coach Drew.
This might be my most frustrating list because of these lists of 10 people, I like 3 of them.
No,
I like
Literally.
the contrarian.
1, 2, and 4. I guess 8 because of nostalgia. If it was me personally, I would put Chrissy at number 3, but that's not like, I know I'm going to be outvoted, so like that's perfectly fine. If I'm thinking about this without any type of bias, I would put Chrissy in between Ozzy and Colby.
Yeah, that's a fair spot. I honestly think she might be just below Amanda Kimmel for me, but she is a really good player. I just think Amanda's also a Survivor legend, so it's like I thought her Micronesia game was.
Bounce her way through final tribals, though.
I mean, her final tribals are terrible. I'm not going to deny that, but it was still a close vote that could have ended in a tie.
Amanda to me plays like she's like the anxiety player. Like every time I watch her, I'm like, there's just anxiety exuding from her at all times.
Yeah. Well, so I feel like on average, Chrissy, I mean, if we have like a 5, a 7, or 7, 6, 8, I feel like it's probably like Chrissy's probably number 7.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
I
Switch is weird now anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah, I think based on the average, it's probably around there. All right.
Yay, Chrissy.
All right, winners. So we have Parvati Micronesia, we have Tony, we have Kim Spradlin, Todd Herzog, Yul Kwan, Natalie Anderson, Jeremy Collins, Sarah Lucina, Boston Rob, and Richard Hatch. I don't think Ben is cracking it. Jonathan, you'll probably defend maybe if Ben should get in the top 10, but I just don't think so.
I mean, I feel like there's only so much I can defend, and it's like, am I willing to die on this hill with Ben? Absolutely, till the bitter end. But at the same time, though, like the 300 Spartans were also outnumbered by like how many Persians there, and they still got schwacked. But like the important thing is that you were there with the person that you liked, and even though you go down swinging kind of thing. But I don't realistically. He's not gonna break that. I think there's too much of an army of Survivor fan base that are very, they have their own respectable opinions on him as a player and as a winner. So, but as much as I love him as a player in my own way and stuff like that, I just don't think he's gonna get in there.
Yeah. All right. Are we in agreement or any other arguments?
Yeah, I have Ben 44 out of 49, so no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ben was pretty low for me.
Yeah, I didn't have him high either. So, all right, Ben is not making it in there. Last one's seasons. I don't think it's cracking the top 10 here, but we have Heroes versus Villains, Cagayan, Micronesia, Second Chances, Pearl Islands, China, Borneo, Cook Islands, and the Blood versus Waters in the top 10. I don't think Triple H is cracking this.
No.
Triple H.
I think for me the potential of Triple H actually was there. I think the cast was phenomenal. I think that the Secret Advantage stuff that was all introduced, I think the if they had set up the final fire making twist much better in the editing or even in the gameplay, like set it up right at the beginning, there's a twist at the end, be prepared for this. I think that it could have easily built some integrity. I think the dilemma is that with the fan base, I think with the lack of integrity of like what could have been or what should have been, I don't think that it can possibly break the Blood versus Water seasons. Those were so well edited, well done, well casted. I don't think that this cast can break it.
Yeah. All right. So that is the rankings. Let's just do our favorite players and then how this season affects the evolution of Survivor. Favorite male and female, I'm going with Devin and Chrissy. For me, I just think that they both did really well in this season, and they both had a real shot at winning the game, but did not. So, Drew?
Chrissy and Joe. I'm not usually a fan of antagonists, like at all, but Joe, for some reason, I really enjoyed him this season. Chrissy, because of what I said earlier, but also she won 4 immunities. I think that she was, for how she started the game off to where she ended up, I'm really excited to see her play in season 50. She's in the top half of people that I'm excited to see back for 50. So yeah, Chrissy and Joe.
Cool. Mike?
Oh, I'm so torn. And I knew this question was coming, and I still I'm not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Chrissy, Stan. I mean, like, yes, but I have to say, like, this female cast was phenomenal. So, like, the females on this season, the fact that only one male won an individual challenge, like, I think that that this season really shined with the females in the game.
Yeah.
And even like the females didn't last very long either. Like there was a lot of like issues with females doing well in the game, but I think they were really good. But Chrissy's my stan. And then guys,
JP?
I would say Joe.
Like,
He took the pants off. He had me sold. No, I think I am also going to agree with Drew. I think Joe, as much as I don't like, I hate the Russells of the game, right? And like he did give a very Russell-y vibe, I think, but Joe played the game well. Like I think he like, whatever strategies he put into motion seemed to work really well for him, and it seemed to be other people that would go before him because of those cogs that he put into the game. But Devin is a very close second, but I think Joe wins it out for me.
Cool. Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my ride or die Ben. I mean, that's just I've kind of beaten this dead horse the whole episode, and I don't think that much needs to be said anymore about it. Loved him as a person. I know as a player he drives people crazy, but like his story really got to me on like a deep level. And females, Chrissy, all across the board. Chrissy, I'm so glad she's coming back.
Yeah,
for 50, she absolutely deserves it. Like in this season, particularly, if it wasn't going to be Ben, it was going to be Chrissy. I like both of them so much, and she's a badass. He's a badass in his own way, and yeah, but those are my two.
Well deserved on 50 for sure. Let's finish this off with how did the season contribute to the evolution of Survivor? I think the fire making obviously affects everything. The advantages that happen. So I think that those are probably the two biggest things in my opinion. But what else do you guys think affected the evolution of Survivor as we know it?
I think that the challenges. I think that what was interesting about this season is the females dominated. And I think that was super epic. I think it really showed that the types of challenges that you put in front of these players is important. And I think, having constant physical, like you're lifting big bags of things and doing all the, the big physical things, you can do physical challenges that aren't just about brute strength. And I think that this season really showed, yes, maybe there was a little few too many like endurance things, but like it did give all of the females such great opportunities, and it gave us some really fun battles between male and females at the end of challenges that I think that evolutionized some of the challenge building in the future. We also see a lot of new challenges this season that we never see again, which is also really interesting, but I think the evolution of the challenges was really important for this season.
Yeah, for sure. Drew?
I mean, this is the second season now that we've had the new jury format that we're actually no longer in at this point. But yeah, like it was mentioned, new challenges, some that we've had, again, some that we haven't. Final Four fire making, which, like I said, I feel like it's, whether people want to admit it or not, I feel like it's more 50-50 than we realize as far as how people think about it. I think this is one of the first seasons that had the Twitter presence of hashtag Ben Bomb. Like, and just flash it on the screen. It's still in the edit. Like, it's just there. I think that would probably be it. Yeah.
He's like,
this is the last. No, it's not, because you're doing one in 2 weeks. So this is the last season that you have like themed seasons, but that's not true. You have one more, which is more accurate than this one.
It also had one of the shortest reunion pieces.
Oh yeah,
like 14 minutes, and it was mostly about Ben.
15 minutes. Well, they give a 5-minute clip of Ben's win, so which is ridiculous. Jonathan, anything else to add?
Pretty much, I'm just gonna hammer everything else that everyone else said, like fire making. I'll say probably the use of how you want to edit a season and how people are going to react to certain edits of seasons. The challenges, certain new things being implemented, but like not being implemented. But like, I guess, trying to figure out and how to predict feedback after a season has aired and what you're going to take into account going forward about how to, I guess, make the next season as good as the last one or better. Even so, I think those were the big takeaways, and I think mainly around the fire making being like seeing a opportunity in the game that hasn't or advantage that hasn't been manipulated yet. Like, you're gaming the game, which we will see this element be manipulated in Edge of Extinction later on. So it's kind of like you're getting introduced to new strategies and tactics in Survivor that, like, when you're first introduced to it, you play it safe. But after you've seen it done a couple times, then you're like, well, maybe I can use this a different way, kind of thing. So that's how I would remember Triple H.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining me once again. It's been great to be back with 1 through 50. And next week, we're going to Ghost Island. Drew and Jonathan, you're both going to join me again. We'll have British Michael as well with us.
You're replacing me with another Michael.
He's your body double.
So yes, and so join us for that. We'll talk about Damabate, Wendell, some other people. So
Laurel.
Yeah, Laurel. So we'll have a bunch of people. Donathan, obviously, we talked about Donathan a little bit. But we'll see you
Gonzalez.
We'll see you all for that next time on the Tribe of Nerds.
You guys are awful.